You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
Hello and welcome to Lifestyles by Lola. I am your host, Lola Jamo. We are celebrating the lovely March season. The great March month has all of these different celebrations that we have to acknowledge. Women's History Month, which of course I must acknowledge, and also the Irish, which is why I'm wearing my green apple dress. But it's also the beginning of spring as well. So it's time to kind of dust off some of the things that we've put away in storage for winter and bring in the new essence of the spring. Also, although we may not want to acknowledge it, tax season is around the corner. So we have to be prepared so that those first 2 weeks of April don't drive us crazy. And we're able to get all of our finances in order and prepare for the following year. So stay with me because I've got some things for you. St. Patrick's Day is here. And with that, we're all allowed to have a toast and have a drink to the Irish. However, I don't know about you out there, but I'm not the biggest beer drinker, specifically beer with green food coloring. And I'm not really a dark liquor drinker. So, I came up with my own way to celebrate the festive holiday of St. Patty's by drinking green, but something that was fruity and sweet and kind of more for my taste palette. So for all of you out there that aren't beer drinkers or dark liquor drinkers, this drink is perfect for you. I like to call it Melon March Madness. The reason why is because it's melon liqueur. This is the month of March, and after you drink it, there may be a little madness, but hopefully not too much. We start with melon liqueur. Now, the great thing is that it's so sweet, and you can mix it with almost anything. In this particular drink, I mix the melon liqueur with a carbonated soda that's lemon lime flavored. Of course, you can use any lemon lime soda that you'd like, and you can use any melon liquor that you like. There are so many different brands to choose from. What I do first is I do 2 parts of the melon liqueur in my shaker, which I've already filled with some ice. And you want to put the ice in first because if you put the ice in at the end, it tends to create a bubbling, and you don't want your drink pouring over the side of your shaker. So, start with 2 parts. And I've already got some in there, so I can also add 4 parts of the lemon lime soda. Now the great thing about this is that, of course, the more carbonation you add, not only the sweeter it'll be, but the less alcohol will be in the actual drink. So it depends on you how strong you'd like to make it. I say 4 parts. You can do 6 parts, or you could do 2 parts. The ice will mix with it and help to melt it down, but nevertheless, it is an amazing melon sweet flavor that you'll love drinking while celebrating St. Patty's Day. So 2 parts of the soda. And the great thing also about this is that it has a really great festive green color. So you're not ordering or making something that isn't festive. It's just something more suited to your taste palette. Now once you've done that, you want to make sure that the top of your shaker is slightly loose, just because the carbonation will cause spraying if it's too tight once you shake it up. And you just need to give it a light shake. Once you've done that, pretty much ready to go with that. But you also want to garnish your glass. So that same Christmas sprinkle, that sugar that you've been putting on all of those Christmas cookies and cakes and pies, you can bring that out again and use it for St. Patty's Day for your Melon March Madness cocktail. I wet the glass, and then once I've done that, I actually go along and start to rim it with the sugar. And this green sprinkle is awesome because it gets darker once the moisture from the water hits it, and you get a really strong green color on the edge, which is lovely. And then celebrating the melon, I like to bring in a kiwi as a garnish. So I have some kiwi that I've cut up here. You want to cut the kiwi into slices as so. And you can take the skin off if you'd like. Basically, all you need to do that is just, once you've cut it into the actual slices, you just go around the edges, and the brown peel is pretty easy to get off, because you don't want whoever you make the cocktail for, or even for yourself, to have to be concerned with worrying about peeling it off with your fingers. Much easier if you cut it. And it's also green. Now we add our drink, and you've got your lovely Melon March Madness. It's green, it's sweet, it's fruity, which I love. And for anyone who wants to try something different while still being festive, this is the best way to go, I promise you. That is delicious. This sugar is so sweet, and you want to lick the rim before you drink. And then the actual liquor itself is amazing because it's almost like the taste of juice. So for someone who's not a big drinker but wants to be festive, please feel free to try my Melon March Madness. And a toast to St. Patty's Day. One of the ways to celebrate spring in your home is through fragrance. And fragrance is one of the strongest senses to memory. So, when you add candles in your home and you light them and you smell that fragrance throughout, that's one of the best things that you can do to get into the spring season. I've got some of the popular scents here that you want to look out for when you're purchasing candles or oils or plug-ins or any of the scents that really focus on bringing that spring essence throughout your house. One is gardenia. This gardenia candle is an amazing fragrance. Gardenia also comes in your perfume. So a lot of the women's fragrances for this season have gardenia as well. But that sweet, light, clean essence that it gives off is a great way to bring in something that's subtle, but getting you out of the winter and bringing you into the sense and the spirit of the spring. My personal favorite, rose. This rose candle here is not for everyone. My fiance hates the smell of rose. So my rose candles are usually within the rooms that I spend the most time in, whether it being my walk-in closet or in the bathroom while I'm taking a bath or a shower. I try not to burn those throughout the house because he's not a big fan. And it is a very particular scent. But for you rose lovers out there, there are a ton of different options in candles, oils, and plug-ins with the rose fragrance this season for spring. So think about rose. Something a lot of people don't think about is citrus scents. This is actually orange blossom. Orange blossom has a really strong citrusy, sweet kind of a smell to it, and it's really unisex. So I recommend a fragrance like orange blossom for people who are living in a home that they're accommodating everyone, the men and the women. Roses are sometimes a little too frilly, and sometimes the gardenia is a little too light. Whereas the orange blossom, you're going to get a nice bold fragrance throughout your home, but it's got a citrusy feel, so men actually appreciate that scent as well. The orange blossom is great because that's a flower that really kind of gives off the feeling of spring, even when you look at it, you know, and the color itself, the orange, those are the tones that you see during the springtime. This light pink, cream, orange, all of the pastel colors are coming back. So why not incorporate them visually by the candles when you see them, but also through the essence of the smell throughout your home. By having a scent when you walk into a room is the best way to pick up your spirit and realize that the warm days are coming and the cold days are soon far behind. So, if you would like to try any of these fragrances, go out. Go to your favorite store, whether it's department store, discount store. It's not hard to find these scents. Rose, orange blossom, and white gardenia. Some of my favorite picks for candle fragrances for your home this spring season. Springtime is here, so it's spring cleaning. Spring cleaning is not something that any of us look forward to, but in the month of March, it couldn't be any easier. Not only because March is the time to be green, you should also be thinking of how to be green not only by the Irish standard, but in a more earthly way. Think about using cleaning products that are biodegradable, that use, less resources, and also are better for your health. I would say during your spring cleaning rituals, you should also think about multi-surface cleaners. Multi-surface cleaners that you can use on glass and also wood and also solid surfaces will make your undersink a lot less messy when you've only got a few products that you have to use to straighten up versus one product to oil your wood, another product for your glass. It just makes the whole process too confusing. By going with a product that is good for your health, good for the environment, and multi-surface, gets everything that you need done in one swap. So, while you're being green for St. Patty's Day, think about being green in a cleaning way as well, because spring cleaning is all about getting neat and organized, but also we should always be thinking about how we can help our lovely earth. We're in the month of March, and in celebrating March, we have to celebrate Women's History Month. So many different ways that you at home can incorporate women's history into your life. Today, tomorrow, the entire month of March, or throughout the year. One thing that's more personal that I like to focus on during the month of March is thinking about the women in my family that came before me. This is an old photo album that I basically use for black and white photos that I've collected from family members that were kind enough to pass along old photos. One of the women that I focused on for this March season is my grandmother. This is actually a picture of her here. It's really interesting when I researched her and asked about a lot of the things that she did. I didn't know she was so accomplished. She actually had her own store in Harlem in New York in the 1970s, which is a big deal to be a store owner. She even ran her own nightclub. This is information that you'd think people would give you in advance, but you have to really ask around to find out details about your family members. Once you kind of get them talking, you'll find out more information. Now, I did know that she was a singer and still sings today, but she actually sang with the Rascals, which is a really popular group back in the 1960s. So she did all of these great things, and all I really knew about her was that she was a singer. And because I don't get to talk to her and communicate with her as much as I would like, I really needed to reach out to other people in the family that knew history about her and her background. So with that added information, I can document it, and for my children and for their children, let them know that we had this amazing woman who was a business owner, had her own club, a singer, and knowing that is so exciting because she's a part of me. Now, for yourself, I'm sure that there are tons of women in your family that you can research and ask them what they've done in their lives, or even asking their children or people that are close to them. And documenting that information is the best way to create your own woman's history within your family that you can share with your children, specifically even your daughter, or even your grandchildren and granddaughters. Knowing where we come from as women strengthens us in the things that we do going forward. We've accomplished so many things, from the moment that we had the right to vote to even nowadays running as president and vice president candidates. There are so many things that women have to be proud of. Another way that you can really help in your community is knowing the issues. What are the issues surrounding your community and the issues in the country that you feel could be changed or better? Write to your congressman as a woman, or you can be a man as well fighting for women's rights. But this is the month that you should definitely focus on acknowledging those things. You can also donate. There are tons of organizations focused on women. Some are for human trafficking of women. Some are for battered women that have to live in shelters. There are even local community organizations that help homeless women. There are so many different focuses on women in different ways, and you can help by donating to any of these causes or organizations, or even of giving your time. These are the best ways that I feel you can celebrate Women's History Month, just for a day, a month, or even throughout the year. Whether we like it or not, tax season is upon us. How can we be prepared for tax season so that those first 2 weeks of April don't make us go crazy? First thing first, organization. Organization is the biggest thing that you can do to be prepared for April 15th. My thing, Ziploc bags. I separate all my receipts based off of my purchases and how I can itemize them into Ziploc bags. Why? It separates them and keeps them from turning so that I can read the information that's on it rather than them fading away. And also I can see through it. So it's really easy to keep them nice and flat and organized. Another thing that you can do, based off of your credit card that you're using, sometimes credit cards will itemize your items in a spreadsheet where all you have to do is order it from them and everything is already itemized. But if you're doing it that way, you have to make sure that you're always using that card when you're making purchases that can be ultimately deducted from your taxes and you can get money back. The other thing that you can do to be organized is using Excel. Once I've taken all my receipts and I have the information, I like to do an Excel spreadsheet and organize them all into different categories. That way, whether you're doing your taxes yourself or you're going to someone, you already have all the information you need that has to be plugged into the system. Aside from that, my second tip would be plan to go. You don't plan a day to meet with your accountant to do your taxes. It's not going to get done. If you don't plan a day to do them on your own, it's not going to get done. Set a date aside. It can be a Saturday or Sunday or a Monday. Whatever day you normally have a lot of free time, that's the day that you should choose to meet with your accountant or to also try to do it on your own. The third and last, most final tip that I think everyone forgets is save money. When you're paying your taxes, you don't want to go into debt just because it's a large sum that you owe. Hey, some people are lucky to get money back, and for those people, you should be saving as well. That money could be used for a vacation or towards a college tuition. Saving is the most important way for us to not lose our minds during the tax season. By saving money, when you have that huge number that shows up at the end saying how much you owe, you won't be stressed because you've already prepared for that payment and you won't go behind in other bills. So, my 3 tips for tax season: organization, plan an appointment, and save money. I hope those tips help you in this tax season, and by April 15th you've already done your taxes and are well off to a great start of your new financial year. Hey, so I hope that you enjoyed our show and that you will take some of the tips to prepare for your taxes, celebrate the Irish, and also acknowledge Women's History Month. So, in doing that, I will say, as always, live life.